Hello everyone, what is up YouTube? Welcome to CarKpop. Guys, I'm streaming live on Twitch right now and this video is being done live, so there's no editing or anything. You can see everyone up here talking while I record this with you guys because we're doing it on Twitch. So please don't mind all the uhs and ums and stuff, and just keep that in mind when you're watching. But what's up everyone, welcome to the video, and today we are sharing the CarKpop community tier list. Now there's a few asterisks in this. Firstly, this is on my community page. We did this over the past month and a half where I would literally ask you guys, what do you think of Pentagon? And people would vote. And what do you think of Kepler? And people would vote, right? And you would vote S, B, A, B, C, and D. And with this, I don't think many of you guys watching this are the ones who voted. That's why I'm bringing that up. I don't think a lot of people who are in my community tab are the ones that watch my videos. So if you are one who does both, thank you so much. Let me know down in the comments below. I really do appreciate you. But with that being said, we're going to go through all, like, gosh, it's like a good 50 groups. Give our thoughts. Chat's going to give their thoughts about where they rank and either shame the people who voted or praise them for putting their face where they go. And one more asterisk before we get into this, or actually two more. One, there will be timestamps in the description, and you can see it on the bar, so you can go to your favorite group. You don't have to sit through all however long this video ends up being. Although I do appreciate that to give me some watch time. If you don't mind, like, you can definitely do that. But if you don't want to do that, you can skip to your favorite groups to see what chat says about your favorite group, or to see what I think about the placement of it and where I think it should be. And then finally, the final thing is the answer you see in here. For example, Stray Kids 74% S tier. This is not the final answer. I did a weighted average because some people pointed out that there are people like Kepler. There were groups where they had 27% B tier and 32% D tier. And then it's just like, if I gave it to the majority, it's like, well, where did all the votes go for everyone else? You know, we didn't really average them in. So what I did, to spare you all the boring math, essentially did a type of weighted average with a scaling system. And with that, we can see where everyone goes, and I have it on here. So firstly, I added an extra tier of S+, because we had a really spread scale, and I needed to, like, you know, I didn't want someone who was like a 10-point difference to one of them be an S and the other one still be an S, you know? So we needed to spread it out a little bit, so I added an S+ to the top, and those are people who got greater than 34.9 points, so 35 and up. Are S+ tier. I'll tell you guys all the points as well. Groups that got 32 to 34.9 were S tier. Groups that got 30 to 31.9 were A tier. Groups that got 28 to 29.9 were B tier. C tier's 25 to 27.9, and D tier's under 25 points. And that is how this is sorted. We're gonna go from bottom. Actually, I'm not gonna spoil it. You guys will figure that out in a second. We're gonna go from the bottom to the top. That's how chat wanted to do this. And let's dive into this with our first group and the lowest on this list. And we're starting with Lightsum, the new, the brand new Cube girl group. Maybe it's the Idol fans that were, you know, they might not have liked our Idol Wars or feel threatened that Lightsum's here now, and they were like, bro, we got to get Lightsum low. But Lightsum has the lowest score out of everyone of 14.7 points in this tier. And they are the start of our bottom tier. They're one of the newest groups as well, so that could also be that they're rookies with only 2 comebacks, so they haven't proven themselves. But, you know, take that as you will. Lightsum is the ones holding down the bottom of D tier, but hopefully one day they can, like, you know, climb the ladder and work their way up higher and higher to the top. Let's move on to the next one, though. The one step above Lightsum, we have the group Fromis9. And Fromis9 had the score, or the points, of 17.4. So kind of the opposite of 14.7. They got a score of 17.4 in D tier. I've seen Fromis9 live. I'm personally not the biggest Fromis9 fan, but I know they have at least a lot of bangers that the general K-pop fan does love. So I'm genuinely surprised they were that low. I thought they'd be a little bit higher than 17.4 points. So they are rounding out the second to bottom tier, second to bottom in the D tier. And we can move on. We have a little bit of another jump in points as we get to our third group in D tier, which is Brave Girls. And Brave Girls, if I can find their their color, which I cannot find. Wait, where is Brave Girls? Chat, help me. Oh no, where's Brave Girls at? Oh wait, no, wait, that's not them. That's not them. They are somewhere on here, and I can't see them. Only Roland knows. Oh, you only know Roland. Okay. If I can find Brave Girls, I can put them on the list, but I cannot see where they are. Where's their logo? Hold up. Brave Girls are in D tier if I can ever find their logo. And then the next highest one up. Maybe the last row? No. Yo, am I blind? They're definitely on here. Okay, we'll put Brave Girls on as we get to them, and I see them because I cannot see them in this massive group. So Brave Girls is next to From 9. They got the score of 20.5. They did have that hit Roland, but the black score is EXID, by the way. But they did have that hit of Roland, and they have some other bangers too. But they're like an old second. Do they count as second gen or third gen? I guess we will never really know. Anyways, let's just move on. I will get Brave Girls in there when we find their logo, wherever it may be. Unless the person who made this took it off since the time we made this tier list. It should be a giant circle. Maybe the person who made the tier list took off Brave Girls. That's so weird. Anyways, oh, I feel bad. We'll move on. We'll get Brave Girls in there. The one who comes next after Brave Girls is now a rookie. And this rookie is Purple Kiss. Another rookie, 2 rookies, and a newer group of From 9, all in the bottom D tier right now. Purple Kiss, I have a lot of potential for. They had one of my favorite songs of last year, so I'm a little disheartened that they're this low, but I do understand since they're not like a top tier Big 4 rookie debut. It's like they still have to like earn their place in the K-pop world, you know. So that's understandable, I suppose, but I'm still sad. I think they should be higher. I found Brave Girls. They're right here. I found we are missing a few groups over here. That's why. Figured it out. Okay. Next up, Purple Kiss, by the way, had a score of 21.3, and the next girl group's another point jump, which is Oh My Girl, who got a score of 22.7, and they are also in D tier as we're getting closer to 25. Oh My Girl is one of my favorite groups. I am so sad about this. Like, they've had some banger songs, Dun Dun Dance, especially recently with Dun Dun Dance and Nonstop. They really got put on the map. But even their older stuff, like Closer and all these other like just great tracks. I just adore Oh My Girl. Sunghi, underrated vocalist. Mimi, underrated rapper. I'm just saying. But that was really low for Oh My Girl. 22.7. The next one on the list, the next girl group we will talk about, and the final girl group in D tier actually, is the newest girl group on this list, on this tier list, and it is Kep1er. Kep1er is the last D tier girl group for our community, YouTube community tier list. Kep1er got a score of 24.5. And so they are the highest. I understand this placement. I think this is a great placement for them. I feel like it's a mix of people going, they have 5 songs to their name. How do you rate them any higher than that? With another mix of people going, they are the best rookies to ever debut, winning a music show in the shortest amount of time. So there's a good mix of people who think they're legendary already and people who think like, oh shit, they're still brand new. Why are you rating them? So I think top of D's probably makes sense the most, you know? So that's going to do it for our D tier of girl groups. Let's move on to our C tier now, and these are 25 points and up. And the first group that we can mention in this tier is a kind of a super rookie. I think they're becoming sophomore groups, and this is the group StayC. StayC scored 25.1 on the community tier list voting, and this got them into the bottom of C tier just barely by a few points. And that does make sense. Like, I mean, I assume like a lot of 4th gen fans would have StayC up in S tier, honestly. They're probably one of the biggest girl groups right now. Them and Weeekly are 2 of the biggest 4th gen girl groups right now, I would think. So StayC's C tier also just released a banger of a song. Pretty good song, Run For You, I'm pretty sure it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But maybe StayC would go up a little bit after people heard that. So There we go. StayC in C tier. And the one right above StayC, which I am shocked by, is the group, if I can find them. Oh, they're right there. Loona. Loona is one position above StayC, which I'm shocked by. They got a score of 25.4 to be one step above StayC, which is mind-blowing to me because Loona has such a presence in social media spheres. Their fan base does, and I'm just surprised that not everyone that's a Loona fan like just voted S tier. It's like apparently there are not many Loona fans in my community tab, which really shocked me, you know? So I did not expect them to be that low. I literally thought they'd be A tier, at least. I thought they would be A tier, but Loona has the bottom of C tier, 25.4, and right above them we have a tie, which is really interesting. I gave the upper hand to the veteran group out of respect, since it is Kpop and everything. The veteran group is the one above, so we'll do the more rookie group first, and that is StayC's kind of rival, Weeekly. Weeekly is right above Loona with the score of 25.6. And this gets StayC into, or not StayC, Weeekly into C tier as well with StayC. And that makes sense for me, you know. If StayC's in C tier, then Weeekly should be around them because I think they're pretty even in terms of like how they've done so far in the past year and a half. Even though Weeekly did win Rookie of the Year in 2020, which was, or was it 2021? No, 2020 they won Rookie of the Year. So that's kind of shocking to me that they aren't higher. But that's what the community tab voted for. So I thought Weeekly and StayC would be like B or A. To be completely honest, I thought Loona would be A too. So kind of shocked there. Next up, we have the tie for Weeekly, which I gave the upper hand to, which is EXID. This is probably the biggest shock to me on this whole list, that EXID is not an S plus tier. I would have guessed, or at least S tier. I would have guessed this because they, as you'll see, a lot of legendary groups got S plus tier because people were like, well, they're legendary. They did so much for the genre. They were going to S plus tier. But then EXID is in C tier? I'm just like, what? They're so iconic with Ah Yeah and Up and Down and LIE. There's so many iconic songs that EXID's made. It's kind of shocking to me that they were done that dirty, you know? So EXID in C tier with 25.6 as well, tied with Weeekly. Next up, and the final group on this list, on the C tier list, I should say. The final C tier for girl groups goes to CLC. Now, I'm interested in your thoughts on this. This is a very interesting one. CLC got a score of 26.9. So clearly, like, they were separated from the pack because all the other C tiers were in the 25, barely making it into this range. CLC was, like, you know, more of a decisive C area. Maybe it's because they have CLC in their name. I don't know. But yeah, they got C tier. Let's move on to the B tier now. And as I said, these are groups 28 to 29.9 points. Let's dive into the lowest, which is probably the biggest name in rookies right now. Aespa. Aespa, the new SM girl group, is starting their life cycle of CarKpop tier list off with a B tier. Aespa got the score of 28.2, barely in that B tier range by 2.2 points. Aespa's in there. I remember the comment section, a lot of people were divisive of like, Aespa's the best thing to ever come to K-pop, and others were like, Aespa's so messy and icky, why do people like them? So, you know, that does make a lot of sense to me why they're B tier. Just the decisiveness between S plus, like S tier and D tier. People going, I love them. People going, I hate them. Like, probably makes sense to me, you know? Next up on the list, right above
Don't you know I'm a savage?
I did not know you were savage. That's fitting for Aespa. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. Next up on the list, for 0.1 point above Aespa, literally 0.1 point, we got Everglow. Right above Aespa and E tier. This one, I'm surprised by. I think this is the great ranking for Everglow. I am not the biggest Everglow fan in the world personally, so I'm surprised by community loves them this much. But y'all had them in B tier. I I thought you guys are going to put them in S tier or S plus tier, and I would put them a little lower. So I think this is a great even spot for where I thought you guys would put them and where I would put them, like, you know, right there. But Everglow ended up a B tier, as I said, 1.1 point above with 28.3. The next group is Gfriend / Viviz. Now, when we were doing this, we didn't have a Viviz logo yet. I'm pretty sure we have it down here now. I'm pretty sure this is Viviz logo. I could be wrong about that. This one right here. But I'm just going to use Gfriend. This is for Gfriend and Viviz as I presented it in the poll. So Gfriend / Viviz got B tier with a score of 29.2, sliding them right at the top of B tier with one group above them. And that group is the now disbanded ITZY. ITZY, I am shocked, didn't get A or S tier. ITZY at the top of B tier with 29.4 as their score is shocking. This is another one I thought would rank high and, you know, was in the middle. So I'm like, okay, interesting enough. And that is everything for the B tier. We have a really interesting ladder right now. It's like 6 groups, 5 groups, 4 groups. Will A be 3 groups? No. A will be 1 group because the only group to get A tier is IDOL. And IDOL got A tier with a score of 31.8 points. Literally 0.2 points away from S tier. 0.2 points away from S tier is the only A. They got 31.8. So close, yet so far. So I'm surprised IDOL wasn't higher. I thought because I talk about Soyeon a lot, so I thought my community would love IDOL, you know? So that's a bit of a surprise for me that they weren't higher, like in S or S plus tier. But again, they're just 0.2 points away, so it wasn't that far off. And we're already past A tier. That is literally the only group in A tier. So now how many groups in S tier do you guys think? Any guesses in chat? Any guesses for how many groups in A tier? No? Let me just tell you. 10? 8? 30? Y'all crazy. There are 40 groups left? Nah, I didn't do all the groups. There are 2 groups in S tier. Just 2. And those 2 are, the first one we're going to talk about, Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher gets S tier with the score of 34.1. So on the upper edge of S tier 2, they got the score 34.1, sliding them in S tier rightfully. I agree, maybe even higher. I don't know, but personally, I adore them. I am satisfied with that. How many left then? We got 2, 4, 6, 7 girl groups remaining, and then all the boy groups. But however, if we got one more S tier to go through, huge shocker here that they aren't a tier higher, and that is BlackPink in S tier, because BlackPink gets 34.4 points, getting them to the top of S tier for girl groups. I thought they would be S plus tier with the amount of BlackPink fans that I have following me. We had a huge BlackPink stint in the channel in 2019, 2018 years. So I'm surprised there aren't more BlackPink fans voting. But this is hugely decisive. I think they had mainly S tier in their voting, and then they had a bunch of D tier too. So very shocking that they weren't S plus tier to me, but that's what you guys voted for. Now let's get into the best of the best, the legendary groups that you guys are saying that are the top tier groups of K-pop. Any new fan should listen to these 6 groups. Let's see. The first one is 21. This is one that got in based on their legendary. There were so many comments.
Excuse me? Excuse you.
Tabi knew that was coming. Holy shit. The first Tabi with the excuse you, but 21, so many comments saying they're legendary. You have to, if you're a K-pop fan and you don't say they're top tier, you're not a K-pop fan. So they got in really based on their legendary, just, what's that called? Their legendary, I don't know what the word is. I can't think of the word right now. So yeah, we'll have to just go from that. 21 with a score of 36.3. And the one higher than them, the next group on this list, is the vocal queens of Mamamoo. They are 1 point higher, and not 1 point higher, that's a lie. They are 3.3 points higher of 36.6. Which, I don't know. I kind of thought that they would be farther down. But at this point, I feel like Mamamoo are legends for most K-pop fans. I'll be completely honest. I don't think they're underrated anymore. I think they are one of the top girl groups in K-pop and will always be. Like, they will be remembered as 21 and as other big name groups, even though they weren't from a big company, you know? Just iconic. And yeah, so I'm surprised in a good way. I didn't think they would be. But that's what you guys voted for on the community tier list. And the one above Mamamoo, the next girl group, is another legend, another one just like 21, where people were like, wow, this group is legendary. And that's why I do it. And it is SNSD. SNSD, we're using the OGG logo for now, which is their subgroup, because there's no SNSD logo on here. But SNSD got S+ tier with a score of 37.8 for the same reasons as 21. So I don't have too much extra to add on to that. And next up, above SNSD, we've got Red Velvets, the other SM girl group, with the score of 38.8. Rightfully so. Probably, I would say, one of, if not the best girl group in K-pop right now. Honestly. Like, just overall well-roundedness and everything. However, they weren't top of this tier list, because there are two groups remaining. Do you guys have any guesses, chat? Who is remaining that you think is above them? I mean, you guys can see that. I don't know why I'm asking. You guys can literally see who it is, you know? Twice. ITZY. Yeah, okay, you guys all know. Next up is ITZY. ITZY is above Red Velvet. The JYP girl group got the score of 40.8. Eva, you're on point with that. They got the score of 40.8. Crazy. One of the few 40 bombs. There were 4 total groups on these tier lists that got a score of 40 or more, and ITZY is one of them. The other one of girls is TWICE. The other JYP girl group. You guys are very JYP biased, apparently, because ITZY and TWICE both got above 40. TWICE with 42.3. And TWICE had the highest score of all girl groups on this list of 42.3. So TWICE is the top. This is the final looking tier list that our community voted for on YouTube. Let me know if you're a girl group fan, what you think of this in the comments below. And we're going to dive into the boy groups now. So if you guys are waiting for boy groups to just watch it through the girl groups part, the part you were waiting for is coming. Just a reminder, this is not my personal ranking. I would have this switched up a lot. I would have a lot of groups that we didn't even rank down here in there just because I wanted to spare. Like, I knew Bandit. Like, even if I put recommendation songs of Bandit on here, Bandit was going to be D tier, unfortunately, because people just don't want to give Bandit the chance, or a lot of these other groups a chance. So I didn't want to just go through a bunch of unnecessary polls. So we have a bunch down here that we didn't use, and it'll be the same for boy groups. So that's why there's still a bunch left over down here. I just wanted to do the main current names, and a few of the legendary ones added in there. So where's Girls' Day? Girls' Day is not on this list, okay? So I couldn't even choose to do Girls' Day or not. So with that being said, let's dive in to the boy group side. You guys ready? You guys ready for some boy groups? Whew. Same rules, same idea, same everything with the boy groups. We're going to start with D tier. I'm going to grab a drink of water. Okay. We ready? Okay. Heifa's ready. That means everyone's ready. In S+, the greater than is the wrong way. I mean, sure. Well, I mean, I would literally just have to use the different caret then and then put it in front. But I was just saying 34.9 or greater. So it would be down here. It's less than. It would be down here. The less than's the wrong way. It should be less than 25. Like, it should be down. No, you were wrong. It should be like that. I'm not a math whiz anymore. I haven't done math in like 8 years, okay? Don't hate me. Anyways, let's dive into this boy group, starting from the bottom and working our way up. The first group on this list. Anyone have any guesses in chat while we start this? I think YouTube already knows because they can see who it is, but chat, who is your guess for the first group? Who is the lowest group on this list, chat? And this, for the record, for the boy group stands, this looks a lot worse. The girl group, overall, the shape of this looks a lot better than the boy group shape. Boy groups apparently are very indecisive with our community tab. I don't know why. You can't ask this, Matt. Okay. The lowest group with a score of 19.3 for boy groups is Onlyoneof. Onlyoneof got the lowest score with 19.3 for boy groups. Lightsum still had the lowest score overall, but for boy groups, it's Onlyoneof at the bottom of D tier. Mainly, I'm guessing because people don't know them. I think a lot of people voted D tier because they didn't want to take the time to actually click on the links I presented in my post for at least the second half of the list when I was doing that. So, kind of disappointing, but, you know, people don't want to give stuff a chance, which means they're not a fan, so. Really, overall, all the D tier, it's like really rough and everything, but never heard of them? Oh, you need to look them up, Pontus. You really need to look up Libido guilty pleasure version, and you will be satisfied. Josh, you as well. Look up Libido guilty pleasure version. Bam. Okay, the next group, lowest group, is someone I'm surprised is this low, but I don't mind it. MCND is the next group with a score of 20.2. MCND is this low. Personally, I'd have them this low too because they present themselves as a hip-hop group. How often do they do hip-hop? Not that often. Their rappers get 4 bars at most. Sometimes, most of the time, 2 bars. Makes me sad inside. They have 3 rappers and 2 singers, and it makes me sad, okay? So I'd have them down here. I'm surprised that they weren't higher, though, based on my audience, so. That's where MCND is right now. Next up, the next boy group is actually a tie between 2 groups. So, of course, I'm giving the veteran group the edge over the newer group, even though neither of them are really new. So the next group up is the group Victon. And Victon, with their amazing rapper, I talk about Hanze. I'm surprised isn't higher because I talk about Hanze quite a bit. Is D tier with a score of 22.2, and they are tied with a more veteran group that I am so distraught is this low. Newest. Guys, I am so distraught. How do you put Newest this low? Their music is so good. If you don't listen to Newest, go check it out. They're so smooth. They're so... Oh, I can't explain it. They're just so good. That's me, my personal bias. Newest would be an S+ tier if I was making this. I'm just saying. That is my biggest gripe, I guess. This is the biggest change I would make. The lowest group to the highest point I would make is bringing Newest up to here. I would 100% do. I adore Newest. So let's continue. The next lowest group in D tier is the Legends, which is very confusing why they're in D tier when there are other Legends that people put in S tier just because they're Legends, but VIXX. VIXX is the next lowest group on this list. I am not as big of a VIXX fan as Newest, but still, VIXX should be at least A, in my opinion. But again, this isn't my opinion, this is my community's opinion. So this one's shocking to me as well, because this is like another legend, the concept legend of K-pop, and they got put in D tier? So I'm confused. I'm very confused, but that's what everyone voted for. They got the score 23.1, and they were also tied. I have to give them the edge, though. I mislabeled this, but the newer group they were tied with, that will go below them, Treasure. Treasure is also tied with VIXX with the score of 23.1. Is the total score for both of them. Treasure also got it. They are the brand new YG group, and they are tied with VIXX, which, I don't know. You guys do you. I'm not the biggest Treasure fan in the world, so I'm not too upset with this, but I know a lot of Treasure fans were like, what? They're so underrated. So yeah, that's where they ended up in D tier. The next lowest is more D tier. We got a lot more D tier groups, y'all. Boy group, my community tab was just all boy group, D tier. Boy group, D tier. Boy group, D tier. The next one, Oneus. Oneus is the next lowest group with the score of 23.2, 0.1 above Treasure and VIXX, which is also very surprising because I feel like with my community, Oneus is a very popular group for people to recommend their rappers, Raven and Lido. Super surprised that I hear them mentioned all the time, and people tell me check out Oneus and everything. So very surprising. Personally, I'm not the biggest Oneus fan though, so I'm not personally that upset. But I'm just surprised. I thought they would be higher based on my community, you know. Okay. Next up on the list, we have a group that's higher than I thought they would be. Ace. In D tier, because Ace is at 23.5 points. I thought they would be even lower. I thought they'd be super underrated, but you know, they got a lot more votes than they got over some groups that I thought they wouldn't be. So shout out to Ace. They did better than I thought they would, but still quite low. Like I thought that, you know, it was either going to be Ace would be like the bottom group, or like, you know, all the Ace fans would find my channel and vote for them, you know. I thought it'd be one of the two, so Ace is right there. We still have more D tier groups. If you were curious, Ace got the score of 23.5, and the next group on this list is the Boyz. And the Boyz got the score, if I find them, of 23.8, and they are the next lowest on this list as well. Look how many D tier freaking groups there are, y'all. Y'all just like hate every group. I don't get it. There's so many D tier groups, and you'll see why there's so many D tier groups too in 1 second, literally. But the Boyz is the next lowest group with the score of 23.8. Rai in chat is going off. I already know it. The next and finally, the final D tier group on this list, which I am surprised is the highest D tier group, is one of my personal favorites right now, P1 Harmony. P1 Harmony is above all these groups, which I didn't think would happen. I personally would have them like up here, but I thought like they would be like the last group because they're so unpopular right now. They are the highest D tier group with a score of 24.6, and that is the D tier of boy groups. And you guys will see why I am like surprised that there's so many D tier groups and saying that there's so many. Spoiler alert for those watching the P1 Harmony section. C, B, A, and S tier have a combined 10 groups. The amount in S, A, B, and C, S, A, B, and C are the same amount in D tier right now. There's the same amount of groups right here as right here. That's why I'm so surprised. It's such like a long D tier and then short everything else and then long S tier. It's like super indecisive. I don't know what you guys are on. But let's move on to the next one, which is a 25-point even score for the group of Astro. Genuinely surprised they weren't D tier. I genuinely thought they would be voted D tier at this point. So, yeah, there we go. Astro, 25 points in C tier. Shout out to them making it past this, like, you know, hole that all these other groups got trapped in. And with Astro in the C tier, the next boy group we have SuperM. I am shocked. SuperM got 26.1 points. I'm shocked they weren't in S or S plus tier. Genuinely. Apparently, they have a very mixed reaction amongst K-pop fans, but yeah. So they're in C tier as well. And right above them is the Cube group Pentagon. They're in C as well with a score of 27.9. Honestly, they are tied. I did not read ahead. They actually have a tied score. The other group of 27.9, who are their veteran group, like the senior group that gets the score above them, is IKON. And IKON is also a C tier group, according to my YouTube comments, which I am also surprised about. And can I just take a little section, since we're in IKON right now? This tier list doesn't have a winner. Someone commented like at the end of the thing, where's winner? I'm like, shit, where is winner? Why haven't I done winner? And I looked and there is no winner in this tier list. And I'm like, oh shit, they don't have winner. Like, you have kingdom in here, but not winner? Okay. So that's why winner's not on here. So yeah, IKON and Pentagon tied for the top of C tier, both with 27.9 points. 0.1 point away from B tier. Literally 0.1 point away. Now we can move on to B tier. Okay, y'all? And in B tier, there's one group. One group holds this entire tier to themselves. And that is the Legends of... if I could find them. Super Junior. Now, this is like the one legendary group that was voted kind of down. And that's because there are a lot of people being like, I don't like how controversial and problematic they are, so I'm voting D tier. And then everyone else is like, oh, I love how legendary they are, so they voted A tier. So that's how they got into the middle. And that's how they ended up right there. However, now that we're done B tier, which, by the way, Super Junior got 28.8 points. Let's move on to A tier. And guys, guess what? We're going to spend another 3 years in A tier, because guess what? There is one single boy group in A tier. All these groups in D, but there's been one in B and one in A. And that one group in A tier is Monsta X. Monsta X is an A tier. I kind of agree with this. I used to adore Monsta X. They were my number 2 favorite group in 2017. Honestly, number 1 at the end of 2017, probably. And then I've kind of fallen off with them in recent years, but I have a soft spot in my heart for Monsta X. So, I mean, maybe I'd put them in S tier if I was doing it, but A tier for Monsta X. They got the score of 31.2. So let's move on to S tier now. Woo! So many groups in the middle. That's why I'm like, y'all, there's 10 groups in D tier, and like, look how little amount of groups there are in A and B. I was so confused. But here we go. S tier groups, and the first group in S tier is the rookies, or are they still rookies, or sophomore group? Enhypen. Enhypen have the lowest S tier score with exactly 33 points. You know, I think that's pretty fair. I think they're a really good group. I actually prefer them over TXT personally. But I think they have a great sound. They have a great...
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for the follow, King Yule. I really appreciate that. So, I think Enhypen have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful sound. And they've really come into their own. I didn't like their debut, but everything since they really sound like Enhypen. So, I don't mind that spot. Let's continue. With the community tier list. Next up, the next group you guys voted for is Day 6. And Day 6 got the score of 33.4. Where's Day 6? There's somewhere in here. Oh, there they are. 33.4, right above Enhypen. I honestly am surprised they're not S plus tier. I thought my community loves JYP groups, so I'm surprised they weren't S plus tier, but, you know, that's that, I guess. The next group above Day 6 is BTOB. BTOB is the next group above Day 6 with the score of 33.8. And Ritsock, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that as well. But let's get BTOB into here. And just for the BTOB people on YouTube, for those who don't know, we are recording for YouTube right now. For people coming in who are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a YouTube video we're making right now. And anyone who's BTOB fans are now getting inside views at the recording process on Twitch. But welcome everyone new and everyone watching for fun. This is actually a tier list that we've been doing on our YouTube channel, or my YouTube channel, CarKpop, where people vote in the community tab. And we're just making the YouTube video for it. So yeah. BTOB fans, hope you guys enjoyed that little BTS, the little behind the scenes for y'all. But yeah, BTOB got a score of 33.8. I am sure everyone at Kia and Hani are at least a little happy they got S tier. I'm sure they're sad they didn't get S plus, but I mean, hey, S tier is better than them getting D tier, right? If they had gotten D tier, I bet you guys would be going, Why? I would have been so happy if they got S tier, but now that they're in S tier, you guys are like, they deserved S plus tier. How dare you? I am happy. Then why is Hani going BTOB deserves to be higher? Anyways, let's keep going. We're almost at the end here. The next highest group for boy groups is the final S tier group of TXT. TXT is the highest S tier group with a score of 34.7. So everyone else is S plus, y'all. Hani said high, not higher? Oh, BTOB deserved to be high up. I see. Okay, that's okay. But TXT got S tier with a score of 34.7. So apparently well loved amongst my community on the YouTube community tab. Very surprising because I barely talk about TXT, but hey, they had my favorite song of 2021 with Frost, so take it as you will. Next up, we've got S plus tier. And in S plus tier, we have 9 freaking groups. This is what I meant by the YouTube community is very indecisive, because it's either they were S plus tier or they were D tier, and nothing in the middle, which was so weird. But let's dive into this. The lowest S plus group on this list is Ateez. Ateez barely squeaks into the S plus tier, which I'm surprised about. They got 35.6. I barely talk about Ateez. I'm not the biggest Ateez fan in the world, so I'm so shocked I have so many Ateez fans on my community tab. Genuinely. So, Ateez, S plus tier, the first group on there. The next group on there, pretty controversial. I want to see what chat thinks about this. BTS. With the score of 35.9. What do you guys think? Is BTS deserving of an S plus tier? I know a lot of people in the comments are putting them low because they don't like their new music and miss their old stuff. A lot of people put them high saying, look, even though you don't like their new stuff, they've done a lot. They're legends. Like, you can't just let the last 2 or 3 albums, like, dictate, or even the last 3 songs dictate where you put them, you know? So, I honestly would have BTS in S plus tier. I listen to more music from BTS than most other boy groups. Even though it's the old music, I still listen to a lot of their music, so. I think it's good. Pre-2021, Angela, I would say pre-2018. Pre-2017. Wings era and before is what I listen to. That's where my cutoff thing is. I listen to 1 or 2 songs from the newer albums, but that's my cutoff point for BTS. Moving on, though. BTS is an S plus tier, and the next one is NCT, an S plus tier. NCT with the score of 36.4 got S plus tier. Whew. This is including all groups. We didn't subgroup it at all. This is including Dream, Wavy, Hollywood, if that ever happens, 127, and you. Any possible combination, just the entire group of NCT is S plus tier with the score of 36.4. Right above NCT with 37.2 is the SM Legends. Shinee. Shinee and S plus tier with 37.2, and they're actually tied with one of their junior groups, not from SM, but another group that got 37.2, and I did not read ahead, is 17. So they both got the same score. We'll give Shinee the edge since they are the veterans. They're the seniors, so they get the edge over 17. But they both got the same score in S plus tier of 37.2. So they are both in S plus tier. I'm surprised 17 got that high up. I mean, I think it's well deserved. I mean, I'm a pretty big 17 fan, I'll be honest. I think they have a lot of good music. I didn't think my community tab would think so, though. So I was really surprised. Next up, as we near the end of this, we got 4 groups left, y'all. Just 4 remaining. The last 4 groups are the top 4 for boy groups. And coincidentally, they are all from the big 3. All of them. The next group on our list is GOT7. I am shocked GOT7 got this high. GOT7 got the score of 38.6. 38.6. to be S+ tier. I am shocked. I am happily shocked. GOT7's the reason I like boy groups now. They are the group that got me into boy groups. I didn't think they would still be this well respected to this day. I thought they would get like maybe A tier, you know? So maybe it's that JYP bias in my community tab we saw with the girl groups, but GOT7 got pretty damn high. A lot higher than I thought they would. Where's Mont? Mont's down here. We didn't do Mont. I don't want to put them in just to have them get D tier, you know? However, we got 3 groups left. And the next group is a YG group that you guys might know called Big Bang. And we're going to use this logo for Big Bang because I personally don't know what this logo is. If you guys know what this If you guys know what this logo is, feel free, which group it is, feel free to let me know. But we're going to say this is Big Bang for right now because we don't have a Big Bang group. This tier list didn't include Big Bang for whatever reason. They should have, but they didn't. So this is Big Bang. And they got S+ tier with a score of 38.9. Mainly for the legendary part. There were still people talking about the problematic stuff with all the members being problematic and stuff, but them being legends pretty much pulled out. And they were the 3rd highest K-pop boy group on this list. Who were 1 and 2? Well, number 2 was an SM group. You guys might have, you might have heard of them. EXO? They were number 2 on my community tier list. EXO's number 2? What? It shocked me. And they're over BTS. If we were back in 2015 during the XOL Army Fan Wars, oof, this would have been a decisive thing. But for right now, EXO's above them. I'm a pretty big EXO fan. They have great vocals, very smooth songs, so I don't mind that. I'm just surprised. I did not think there were that many EXO fans on my community tab. I'll be completely honest. But that leaves 1 group remaining. I'm sure everyone watching right now, if you're on YouTube, you see the timestamp. If you're not on YouTube, like, look, they're literally just all gonna say who it is above me right now. I guarantee it. All these SKZs are just gonna start popping up because they all know it's Stray Kids. Stray Kids is the next group, and the top group of this list with a score of 4.5. And by the way, EXO got a score of 40.6. They were also in the 40 club. All the 40 club groups were JYP and EXO. 44.5, 42.3 for TWICE, 40.8 for ITZY, and 40.6 for EXO. Those are the top 4 groups in the 40 club. Stray Kids get the top voted thing overall, the highest voted group of a score of 44.5, followed by TWICE in this tier list of 42.3, followed by ITZY of 40.8, and then followed by EXO of 40.6. Those are the top 4, with Big Bang rounding it out, the top 5 at 38.9. Those were your top 5, and this is the community tier list of CarKpop, voted by you guys watching right now, hopefully. Let me know in the comments which ones you guys disagree with a lot. Let me know which ones you guys think are right, which ones you don't like. I'm sure you guys can go back and read all the opinions chat had about your list, but this is so weird. Look how uneven it is. It's just like lots of groups, no groups, lots of groups. Like the girl group looks a lot more like a normal tier list, you know? This just looks weird. But yeah, there were a bunch more groups I didn't include, like a 1We I thought about including, Monsta I thought about including, N-Flying. But I didn't want to just, like, you know, put in Golden Child and, like, have them be D tier because people don't want to listen to the songs, you know? So, I felt a month and a half of doing this voting was plenty of time for this list. And this is the results. I hope you guys enjoy the stream, the watching it. And, yeah, hopefully this list makes some sense to at least one of you watching. It makes no sense to me. I had my list to be so different, but hey, you guys voted for this. This is what the weighted average was. Every vote counted, and this is what the results were. So I'll keep it right here so you guys can see the final results one more time. Here are the girl groups, and then here are the boy group results. You guys can go back and listen to the numbers to see how it compares to girl group, boy groups, because you can also like compare. For example, it would go Stray Kids in the top 10, Stray Kids, TWICE, ITZY, EXO, Big Bang, Red Velvet, GOT7, SNSD, 17, Shinee. That is your top 10. The bottom 10 would be Lightsum, Fromis9, Onlyoneof, MCND, Brave Girls, Purple Kiss, Victon, Newest, Oh My Girl, VIXX would be the starting from the bottom. The bottom 10 would be those. So, actually Treasure, not VIXX, because they were tied and we gave the edge to VIXX. So Treasure. But yeah, those were the bottom 10. So there are our lists. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this tier list little thing this month and a half in the making. Thank you everyone on Twitch that was commenting throughout it, chatting throughout it, giving some commentary for the people watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the list as well and getting to insert your thoughts into the video for everyone. Maybe we'll do something similar like this later throughout the year. Keep an eye on the community tab page. Be sure to subscribe. Come join us on Twitch, twitch.tv/CarKpop if you want to be part of this. Like, you know, pretty awesome. And come join us on Discord, the link in the description below.
Excuse you.
As they probably start spamming those. I'll see you all later. Thank you for watching.
Don't you know I'm a savage?
Bye, everyone.